you okay? Do you need help? Hey, so I'm getting out the door and going on a hike slash run. And I thought I would talk this week about trail running because it's a little bit different from running on the road or on the beach like I like to do back home. I'm out in Colorado right now, and gosh, I've gone about a minute and a half. No, 30 seconds. See, that's how bad it is. I've gone 30 seconds and I'm breathing hard. I'll catch my breath at the top of the hill and talk some more. Hey guys, so I wanted to talk to you this week about trail running. I'm out here in Colorado, and that's why I'm here, is to run in the trails. This is something I've been doing for the last 25 years or so, and I really, really love coming out here to Ouray, Colorado and running in these amazing trails. I finished the Hard Rock 100-mile endurance run 14 times. I finished the Ouray 100-mile run once. I did that last year when Hard Rock was canceled. And this summer, Hard Rock and Ouray have been canceled, but I'm still out here to run in these trails because this is an amazing place. So I wanted to talk just a little bit about what makes trail running different from running on asphalt or running on a track or some of those other places where you might want to run. The main thing that is different about it is that you need some different equipment to do it safely. The first piece of equipment that's really important for trail running are your shoes, especially if you're going to be running on mountain trails like we have out here. You have to have something that has really good tread. So I'm going to show you three different shoes. These are my son's trail shoes. These are Mizuno's, and these are really nice trail shoes. They've got some really good lugs on the bottom. And what's nice about these is they're very familiar for people that are used to running in Mizuno's. They feel like running in a regular Mizuno shoe, only they've got that hard tread. So I run in Mizuno's a lot on the road, and so I have a pair of these as well, and these are the ones that my son has been running in out here. Second pair that I want to show you, this is by a company called Montrail. Montrail makes trail shoes. It's all they make are trail shoes. Again, very good lugs, and you can see that it's got these grips so that when you're going uphill, it keeps you from sliding. That's really, really important for a trail shoe. Now, the ones that I wear, I like to wear Hoka's a lot of times when I'm out doing long, long miles. And because normally when I'm out here, I'm training for a 100-mile race, I want something that has more cushioning than this and even more cushioning than that. And so, well, I go for my Hoka's. These are the Hoka Speed Goat 2s. And they, again, very aggressive tread. You can see I've put a lot of miles on these. I probably need to get a new pair of them soon. But they've got the cushioning that is really, really important. And another thing that I have added is a little Velcro tab on the back. Now, there are some trail shoes that have a Velcro tab built into them. Altra makes some that do that. Now, what is that for? That is so that when I put on one of these, which is called a gaiter, this fits over my foot and it actually attaches to the shoe itself so that it attaches to that Velcro, and then there's a hook that attaches underneath the shoelace, and that keeps any rocks or debris from getting into my shoes. And that's really important. The place where we went running and hiking today, there was a lot of loose gravel, loose rocks, scree they call it. And my son, I didn't have any for him to use because there's no Velcro on the back of his shoes. And I forgot to bring out here to Colorado a pair of gaiters that I have that don't require that. And so at one point, he actually did have to stop and dump rocks out of his shoes. That's it. Keep one foot under your butt and keep the other foot out in front. Isn't that weird?
It's like liquid rock.
It's wild, isn't it? Good job, buddy. Now we get to go back up.
Now I get empty my shoes.
So when I'm doing a race out here, obviously I don't want to have to go through that. Other things that are really important for me, well, I can't be without my squoosh. And this really does play an important role when I'm out here. One thing that it does, I sometimes put it on my hand to use in case I fall. You know, it has a little bit of cushioning for me, but also out here when I'm out in such a dry area. I'm used to living in Florida where it's humid. My nose starts to get a little stuffy, and so I'll wipe my nose on this a little bit. Also, if it's hot and I'm running past a creek, I can put this into a creek and get water in it. There's a little sponge in here, and I can get the water on my head. I can wipe my face. It's really, really comfortable. Another thing, this also comes from Squoosh. This is the kind of a band that I can wear as a headband, or I can wear around my neck. These days, obviously, it's really important to be able to put up and wear like a mask. But actually, I've been doing that out here for years, because if I happen to be on a Jeep road where I'm running or hiking, and the Jeeps kick up a lot of dust, I want to be able to filter that dust out so I'm not breathing it in. So I have a ton of these, and I use them out here all the time anyway. Um, Another thing that I have, and I showed you this when I did the hydration video, is one of these hydration packs. It's not just a hydration pack. I keep all sorts of things in here. I do have my water bottles, but I also have some food in here. I have gloves in here as well, which are really important. I have um, an extra water bottle that has a filter on it, so that if I run out of water, I can refill from a stream, and I can feel safe in drinking that because I can filter that water and keep it safe. And then I also have here on the front, I have these snaps that hold these hiking poles. And hiking poles are really valuable. These happen to collapse so that I can connect them like that. Hiking poles are really valuable for going up steep inclines. I do have some friends that use them for going down hills. I don't do that, but I know some people that do, that want that extra confidence. What I do is I take these poles and I collapse them down when I'm going downhill, and then I put them back here on the pack. Fortunately, this particular type of pack has a little loop at the bottom that I can snap it into, and then it has a little strap up here at the top that I can wrap around and snap it together so that I can keep these poles out of my way when I'm running downhill. And then I just put on my gloves and run. Another thing that you'll notice in a little bit of the videos that I've shot out here is that when I'm doing a trail run, I usually don't have a specific run, walk, run ratio that I use. I don't think that it's important to have a specific ratio on trails if those trails have a lot of up and down. Because if I'm climbing up that mountain, I am not going to run at all up that mountain. It's not happening. But if I'm coming down that mountain, I'm running a lot. In fact, I'm running a lot more than I usually would. Even in a marathon, even in a fast marathon, I'm going to double probably the amount of running that I'm doing before I take a walk break there, as long as I do it safely. I talked about downhill running last week. So as long as I'm doing downhill running safely, I can skip some walk breaks on the downhill. So when you are in a terrain, it has a lot of up and down, even if it's asphalt sometimes, you don't need to use a specific run walk ratio. Instead, you walk a lot more on the way up. You run a lot more on the way down. Now, if I'm on the flats, obviously I want to use a specific ratio that matches what I'm doing. I love trail running, I really do. But one thing that I will say is that when you're in the middle of your training cycle, when you are trying to train for a marathon or a half marathon, it's important that you do most of your mileage on the road or on a track, someplace that's really safe. I fall when I'm out here on the trails, and as I mentioned, I've been doing it for years. Trail runners fall. I was out there with a really good buddy today. He's got 10 hard rock finishes, and we were having a lot of fun. But in this one spot that we went down really hard, he fell at one point, and he cut his hand up a little bit. All right, so, oh, there it is. I was gonna say, so he may not fall, but if he claims he's in complete control of himself, He is a liar. Yeah, man. Woo! So, you know, it happens. Even people that are very experienced do fall. So I don't recommend putting a lot of mileage on the trails. If you're training for a marathon or a half marathon, most of your even if you're training for an ultra, I still think most of your mileage needs to be on something that's really predictable, a really predictable surface. If you are going to do a long run that incorporates some trail, then make that trail the first part of the run so that then after you get off the trail and you do the last half of the run, you're doing it on a reliable surface. Why do I say that? Because when you're tired, you don't always lift your feet up as much as you should. If you don't lift your feet up as much as you should, you could end up catching a toe on a rock or a root or something and falling. And that's not a good idea, obviously. I love the trails. I love the roads. I love running anywhere I can run. I hope you're getting out and running wherever you can run and whenever you can run. If you need anything, please let me know, chris@jeffgalloway.com. And I'll be back in Florida before you know it. But I hope for now you're enjoying seeing some of these great sights out here with me in Colorado. Take care. Whew. Woo! Oh,